Hey guys, Bart here with Tully Television, and today we're gonna talk of a more serious subject matter. And being that I've kind of covered music in the past, I'm gonna talk a little bit about Kanye West today. But before I do, I hope that I can find it in you to hit that red subscribe button down below, like, comment, share. Let me know what your thoughts are on Kanye West. Kanye West, as we all know, is a worldwide uh, known artist through his music, through his fashion, through a lot of controversial moments in his life. We all know about the Taylor Swift incident. We all know about some of his more outlandish comments throughout the years, his outlandish actions, his relationship with Kim Kardashian. There's a lot of things that have been going on with Kanye over the years, and for a lot of those years, I think it was just people realizing it was Kanye being Kanye. Uh, there was some sort of uh, offset that would happen to him, to not respect people's boundaries. For instance, like the Taylor Swift thing, he could have very well said whatever he said afterwards. Even when Beck won an award over Beyonce, and he was trying to say that Beyonce was a better artist. Maybe sales wise, I don't know, but Beck plays multiple instruments. He writes his own music. He performs his own music. He does everything. Beyonce mainly just sings the songs that are presented to her. She doesn't make the beats. She has songwriters. She just sings, okay? And that's okay too. I'm not like trying to disparage Beyonce. A wonderful artist. I like her. But I'm just saying, like, some of his takes were so out there. It was like, yeah, whatever, okay. It was debates. He kind of brought up debates. And his mother had unfortunately passed away during complications to some sort of plastic surgery going on, and she passed from that. And I'm sure he felt very guilty over that ever since then because he paid for that procedure. And if he never would have paid for that procedure, she could have very well still been alive today. And I think that with some of the mental offsets in his prior life, I think this may have set him off on a path that no one was really expecting. And again, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know Kanye personally. I don't know his family, friends, nothing like that. We can only speak from people who are standing on the outside looking in. And I can't know what Kanye goes through as uh, the person he is. He has totally different experiences than I do. And I don't know what struggles he goes through in his mind, what the technical names are, what could be done for them. Um, but there is a lot of things that, people would disagree with him about. Some things I would understand where he's coming from. For example, when he talks about social media, right? And he says, "Well, Instagram got your bitch, right? Instagram got her, not you." In a way, I agree with that sentiment. Uh, and I'm not going to just lay it on women's feet, okay? I've been guilty of stopping and liking a bikini picture or whatever, or a spicy photo, so to speak. And without any real credence to where that could lead that person. Uh, because obviously, we know living in the social media age that people can be addicted to likes, views, shares, comments, any type of interaction possible is good. No, no, bad press is good press still because there's no such thing as bad press. It's press, you know? It's attention. And I think that's a lot. I think that's true with a lot of people. I've even early on would interact more often on Facebook than I do now because I realize that on social media, you're not going to change anyone's mind. You're not going to bring the person over to your side and you're right. That's never going to happen. Um, there's always going to be trolls on the internet. There's always going to be spicy pictures on the internet. There's always someone willing to do something for internet fame and clout. And so, with that, I understand where he was coming from. Um, I'm not a very religious person myself, but when he says there's a lack of God in our families, a lack of God in our country, uh, I I agree with that. The moral fiber has changed a lot over the years since the 50s and 60s, all the way up until now. I feel like the family unit isn't as spotlighted as it should be, as it used to be. And I'm not saying like women should be happy with just being a housewife and a mother only. I'm not saying that. I want everyone to live a happy life according to the dreams they want, but I also want men and women to feel like they're worthy of a life that they could live and be proud of and pass on to their children if they were to have children. I don't think that people really have pride in the legacy they are going to leave behind as much as people used to. My opinion, maybe I'm a boomer. You know what I mean? I did grow up in I was born in 76. I grew up in the 80s. I was a teenager in the 90s. Um, I know how it was pre-internet, post-internet, and very early on in the internet, yeah, you were able to get spicy photos or whatever like that from people. But I think it's the instant gratification that's happened that makes us lose ourselves sometimes. And I understood at least where he was coming from with that. Maybe the way he would go about saying it, maybe the way he would point certain people out, like his ex wife Kim and her family. And I'm not the biggest Kardashian fan, but if you don't know what type of people they are now, the Kardashians, then you're living in a delusional world. They are the epitome of clout chasing, press the likes. Because at like one point, when Kanye had mentioned that she's a mother of children and she's in her 40s and they're still using her to take pictures of her butt. It's like, as much as I don't like Kim Kardashian, and as much as I feel like she's just as much to blame for how she's viewed as other people, perhaps, even more so with some of the Ray J stuff coming out, and maybe that's a subject for another time. But I mean, even Kanye sticking up for Kim, so devoted to Kim Kardashian at one point in his life that he'd call out Ray J in songs and other people and be proud of that. That's his girl, and he's not so proud anymore. And I think even their child Northwest, yeah, North. I think even if you hear some of the questions she asks her mother, like, why do you talk a certain way? Why do you act a certain way when the camera's on? Well, show us that even her child knows that she's a fake, okay? And she doesn't even use her real voice. There's a video out there of her using her real voice, hoping that her fourth marriage, whoever it is, will be her last one. Like, it should only be one, maybe two, because I get things happen. But what is it to be married four, five, six times nowadays? Having kids by three, four, five different fathers. You ladies are allowed to do what you want to do. Obviously, you don't. You ladies can do stuff now. You know they can vote and everything, and um, you're more than entitled to do with your stuff what you want to do. But when you don't have the respect from people that you wanted, then maybe you should think. But I'm rambling again. Kanye, Kanye bringing these things up, I can totally understand why he would bring those up. But then he said something recently that he's more than entitled to believe what he wants to believe, but I don't condone this at all. But he feels like the Jewish people are kind of using the black people for through rap music, through um, like he's saying that Jewish people are trying to make black people look like idiots in the public eye to make money off of them, and I that's kind of like a really inflammatory thing to do to kind of brush a whole culture with that brush. Um, I don't know um, many people that agree with him because he's starting to say a lot of even deeper anti-Semitic things when it comes to the Jewish population, and he's starting to have people that are like from neo-Nazi groups agreeing with him, and I'm surprised he hasn't really sat back and looked at that and was like, these are not the people I want to agree with me. Um, that's like Jeffrey Dahmer saying your cooking is great. People are going to look at you and be like, what are you making that Jeffrey Dahmer is giving you the five-star thumbs up on your meals? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I would feel as Kanye if these neo Nazis and Nazi groups were agreeing with me as a, and me as a black man. Let's just say, I'd feel like, damn, they must hate the Jewish. They, not me, must hate the Jews so much, the Jewish people, so much that they're willing to bypass I'm black to agree with me talking crap about the Jewish population. And it would really make me double think what I was trying to say, what my message is trying to say. I would try to clean it up a little bit, but unfortunately, he has stuck with uh, his messaging and has led him to being banned off of social media, all platforms. He's being dropped by his sponsors. Uh, Adidas being the latest one. And Adidas was founded by Nazis. Okay? And they're like, drop him. Drop him. I'm not saying it's still run by Nazis, but a little fun fact if you didn't know that Adidas was founded by Nazis. Um, allegedly. 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 But, yeah, Kanye totally melted down, and I don't think there's any real coming back from this. Not in the immediate future, anyway. And it's a shame because if you really think back on it, it should have been a red flag when Jay Z stopped messing with him, where Jay Z just kind of like, yeah, we don't. Why would you stop as a rapper associating with someone who's helped you bring in a lot of money? You know what I mean? It kind of, if I was working with Jay Z and we were making tons of money, and all of a sudden we weren't working together, he might, because he didn't really get into specifics. He just said, yeah, just moved on or whatever. And but that should have been a red flag. Why stop working with someone who's brought you millions of dollars? You know what I mean? There was obviously a rift that happened. It would be like if Missy Elliott and Timbaland never worked together anymore. It'd be like, oh, I wonder what happened. Why don't they work together anymore? They've made bangers in the past. But yeah, sad set of events for Kanye and the people that love him. Just sad that he's not acknowledging uh, what his actions and words are causing. And I'm all for um, free speech, so to speak, but you should acknowledge that along with that free speech, people are going to freely give you consequences for that speech. And that's where we are now with Kanye West. He is dropped by all brands. He's banned off of all social media. He has the wrong people supporting him. Uh, from an optics lens, definitely. And a lot of people who are the biggest fans of him have finally washed their hands of Kanye. And I'm sorry that's happened because it's things that could have been, he could have been a legendary artist, fashion designer, uh, but now he just looks like a crazy old man yelling at the clouds. Until next time, guys, peace.